this is a first for me to be speaking here. And but nonetheless, I can tell you it gives me the greatest pleasure because we are all here today because of a concern that is near all our hearts and is very close to my heart right since the Sustainable Development Goals in November 2015 and the Paris one and the one before that at the 200 countries in the United Nations signed up to the Sustainable Development Goals. That was just such a wonderful, wonderful moment for the world. So from January 2016, we're on our way, our big mission to save the planet and to ensure a future for everyone can flourish and no one is left behind. So I just feel you're all the people here today that it has been, and we're ahead of by decades. I see some here today who were involved with the founding of Friends of the Earth way back in 1970. So it's really wonderful that all this is happening. So you'll have to forgive me how this managed, but I want, because that's so dear to Michael's heart, that it gives me great pleasure to just read as best I can. Yeah. So, first of all, Fuor Queen Fáilte Ribh Gach Duine here, and I am most happy to extend a warm welcome to community members, activists, and all those who have been dedicating themselves and committed to fostering a sustainable future for our citizens in Ireland and beyond. May I acknowledge the remarkable effort of individuals involved in various campaigns, including on climate change, gender equality, and the eradication of global hunger. The moral leadership and unstinting efforts of all those working towards the creation of a sustainable society and economy surely, given our circumstances, represents the best expressions of an active, engaged, and inclusive citizenship, founded on principles of equality, participation, solidarity, and recognition of the dignity of all citizens. Michael and I have to recognize your work. I mean, the President will say, recognizes your work, acknowledges it, and salute you this afternoon, and invite you to enjoy the house and the grounds of Áras and Uachtaráin, the home of all Irish presidents since 1939. While today is indeed a day of celebration, I feel it would be remiss of me if I did not take a moment to reflect on the global context we share and seek your engagement in the current circumstances in which we all find ourselves. The sobering truth is that our planet is in crisis. The scientific evidence is clear and unequivocal. Planet Earth is burning, a result of human economic actions taken most often by those with power in the economy, and the consequences falling most acutely on the most vulnerable who are least responsible for climate change. In the words of Pope Francis, our common home is being pillaged, laid waste, and harmed with impunity. Our beautiful planet, once teeming with life and vibrant ecosystems, is now facing unprecedented destruction. Our actions have pushed the Earth to the brink, and it is time for us to act with urgency and determination to reverse this course. Recent research published by Queen's University Belfast tells us that almost half of Earth's species are now in decline. and that the planet appears to be entering its 6th mass extinction period. Unlike previous mass extinctions, this one is a direct consequence of human activity. Furthermore, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, we are on track for a global temperature increase of over 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels by the end of this century. This rise in temperature will result in catastrophic consequences, including more frequent and intense heat waves, extreme weather events, rising sea levels, failed crops, hunger, and the displacement of millions of people. We cannot afford to continue to ignore these concerns. The consequences of a flawed interconnection between ecology, economy, and society are evident to everyone. Disturbing climate shifts are exerting immense pressure on communities worldwide, where ecosystems are no longer capable of sustaining populations, resulting in a depletion of resources necessary for human well-being and progress. Consequently, this lays the foundation for conflict, violence, and involuntary migration and displacement. Vulnerable groups face the harshest and most immediate consequences, as their very survival hangs in the balance. There are alternatives available, combining ecology, justice, and good economics. It is time to face the truth, to acknowledge the challenges we face, and to embrace the shared responsibility of creating a better future for all. The repercussions of our choices taken now will define for habitable life itself for generations to come. But as we face this daunting reality, let's not succumb to despair. There is hope, for we have the power to make the difference. We still have the chance to avert the worst effects of climate change. But to do so, we must act urgently and decisively. We must channel our collective will and determination towards sustainable solutions. It is time for a paradigm shift, a change in mindset that prioritizes the well-being of our planet over short-term gains. Each one of us, regardless of our individual roles, families, communities, or professions, must take ownership of the commitment to tackle climate change. As citizens, we possess a moral duty to contribute to this profound societal transformation, invoking our shared humanity to re-establish a harmonious relationship between ecology, ethics, economics, culture, and a lived experience of fulfillment and resonance with each other and with the world. In Ireland, we have a critical role to play in this global effort. We must show leadership in the transition to a sustainable future by committing to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and achieve our targets as set out in the Paris Agreement by reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and protecting and restoring our natural ecosystems. In Ireland, we still have a long way to go, as the recent trends show that our emissions are rising while most European countries are experiencing a decline. The latest data from the Environmental Protection Agency indicate that the water quality in our country's rivers and lakes has decreased, which is contributing to our national biodiversity decline. We must face up to our need to make the bold decisions that are required to protect, conserve, and restore the natural environment in the interest of all the people, present and future, not just in the island of Ireland, but across the planet. We must achieve this through dialogue, and more importantly, we need to have strategies of implementation that are understood. Here at Áras and Uachtaráin, with the assistance of Trinity College Dublin scientists, who I'm glad to say a lot of them are here today, and the Office of Public Work, we have had a biodiversity audit as a basis for future action. Nearly 300 species of plant, 200 species of fungi, more than 50 species of bird, and nearly 250 species of invertebrates have been identified on the grounds of Áras and Uachtaráin. So look out when you're moving around. We are implementing measures to improve and restore species-rich grasslands, creating habitats in which insects, pollinators, birds and mammals can nest. Swift boxes have been installed, measures to encourage bat roosting, and we have many, be glad the bat people, we have lots of bat looking after bats people here today, so that's good news, have been undertaken. And new beehives are now in the vegetable garden. We must also recognise that climate change is not just an environmental issue, but also a social and economic one. An ecological social paradigm encompasses the need for a just transition for those impacted by the closure of unsustainable carbon-intensive industries. We must ensure that the transition to a low-carbon economy is just and equitable, and that no one is left behind. As I look around today, I welcome the fact that citizens are actively engaged in promoting a sustainable existence, who embody our best hopes for survival in a world characterized by harmony, peace, and coexistence with nature, nurturing a diverse ecosystem and thriving planet. This contrasts with a destructive model of the past, driven by rampant consumer culture, wastefulness, and an individualistic mindset, reinforced by the dominance of neoliberalism as the prevailing political and economic ideology. Our insatiable appetite for resources are being consumed with consumption, have pushed countless species to the brink of extinction, disrupting delicate ecosystems. The loss of biodiversity, not only threatens the natural world, but also jeopardizes our own survival. New movements are emerging, offering societal emancipation and sustainable ethical society. Their widespread adoption is crucial for global solidarity and our best hope for a more equal, cohesive, and sustainable future, one that will protect and preserve the diversity of life on Earth. Our climate change and biodiversity loss, there is a clear, definite, and ethical imperative to act. We must take more responsibility for our role as stewards of the Earth, driven by the conviction that sustainability, climate change, mitigation, and biodiversity conservation are not only optional endeavours, but moral imperatives. Let us unite in purpose and create a legacy of hope for generations to come. I have no doubt that everyone here will play a crucial role in realising the urgency needed sustainable paradigm of existence. May I thank today MC Blónes Coffey for doing such an excellent job chairing the proceedings, and my heartfelt thanks to the musicians and entertainers, Fermoy International Choir, Colm O'Hargone Group, Liam Winnett, Atkinson Sisters, the Honeydews, Shane Hennessy, Modern Love. I had a touch of the relic between those for a photograph of Modern Love and Hothouse Flowers, all of whom have lifted our spirits. Thanks also to the staff here at Áras and Uachtaráin for their hard work and culinary skills, and our friends in St. John of God's and the Gardaí and the Civil Defence colleagues, and our tour guides, and all who have worked so hard to make today an occasion of friendship and joy. So, yeah, I hope that today will form part of your memories of a wonderful summer, and I thank you all for being present and for sending your love as you did to the President at this garden party. Thank you.